Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Anna has a new album coming out and she's trying to get a new photo for each one of her songs. And she went to an art exhibition recently and fell in love with one of the paintings there. So that's going to be the inspiration for today's shoot, and Peter and her are going to try and recreate it, but obviously Anna being in it as well.
So this was the inspiration for the next promo shoot I'm doing with Anna. Basically, we're not going to copy it, but we've done similar. So it's sort of like a copy. We did copy it. Anyway. Oh no, we didn't. We didn't put flowers in the hair. So I've done 2 shots. I did just an initial shot to work out roughly where I wanted it to stand. Then I just moved the big thing to block the skylight because I didn't like the downlight coming down onto her forehead and her ridge. Then I just did a test shot. So that's just ambient light that's in here at the moment. A couple of things I'm looking at is maybe enhancing that little highlight there and get some little highlight hot spots on the skin and on the fake bullets, as well as I might just throw a light on the background which will slightly orange it, not yellow it, not orange, because I liked that sort of yellowy, tanny background, but I'll just see what happens. So let's start off by, so I just wanted to sort of match the color balance to what we're shooting at. I am really enjoying using the constant lights on people other than Beck. Beck doesn't like bright light. It just allows me to see my lighting so much quicker and so much better. What's that catching on there? So all I'm doing is I'm now looking where I'm putting that light into the catch light there. It's a nice little light in there. So I can still, and now the sun comes up. Go away. So 1 down, cool, it's going back down again. It's going to vary a little bit. I'll just have to keep my eye on my exposures. Cool. Get my overexposure warning turned on. I'm fine. Still got a bit of room to move on this. I'm liking that catch light. The highlights are coming up quite nice. All right, so I might pump that light up a bit more. So I'm down at 10%. Let's get it up around about 30% and see. Got my shutter speed at 160th now. Now this is a little bit slower because I am using 100 megapixel back. Right, so that's clipped on her. Cool, so I can pull up to, just gonna do F5. Not after super shallow depth of field. Don't like the magenta skin color. It's getting me close. I'm just gonna swing this catch light around just so I get a fall off a little bit more on her face so it's not so evenly lit. Cool, I like that a lot. And a lot of this is going to be just by my eye and my taste. So if you don't like it, then you can do it and make it yours. Sound bitchy, but I'm not. Right, so I'm just clipping on a little bit of headroom, especially because that ambient light, although at the moment we're a bit brighter than it was. I'll go 5.6. That's really nice, that's really cool. Yeah, that's nice and sharp, got sharpening turned off, yes. I'm liking the catch lights. I think I'm liking everything about this. I think I have to do this in color, don't I, Anna? Yes, she's told me I have to. They're ganging up on me. I've got Beck and Anna now demanding color pictures. All right, so I just want to tune this. I was thinking of adding a light in the background, but I'm liking the sandy color that we're already getting, so I don't want to do that. I think I'm just going to leave this fairly flat. Yeah, I'll just play with this first and see what look I'm going to get out of this V1. Let's punch that up a little bit. So as I bring the curve down, it's going to saturate. Oh, I'm liking this. I'm liking how this is darkening because I can cheat with the clarity slider on V1 on Hasselblad. It doesn't work like clarity. It's not going to sharpen at all. It's more like a localized contrast. And I'm just going to be playing just in this area a little bit. I might just throw more vignette on the background. Yeah, I like that. All right, so now if I pull a bit more, quite nice there. What about a bit of contrast? Yeah, now it's starting to do what I want to do. Now it's starting to oversaturate the skin. So there's a couple of things I can do. I can bring in shadow fill to desaturate the skin. See how I stop that? And I'm thinking I'm liking that black's going nice and black, but without the skin tone getting too dark. So the other way I could do it is desat by the amount. So I've got 22 in contrast. If I desat it by 22, That's pretty high sat picture, so even though it is to my taste, instead of curve, let's bring in some shadow fill instead of the curve. So I'm just playing around with which one I'm preferring the look of, and I'm thinking I'll do a little bit of both. Now the other thing what I can do, everyone's going crazy about haze filters, but if we just move our black point, we'll start to get that hazy sort of look as well. So I'm quite liking that, but I didn't want to lighten the background as much. So if I grab my mid-tone in here and move that, that will darken that back down, but still keep that. There's a slightly milkier feeling in the blacks now. You'll see that just got that little bit like filmic milkiness that's in there. I'm making up words now, but this is a lot why I like to shoot tethered, because I can sit down and do my work now, and then I can play with lighting to enhance it. Oh, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And it will kill me. All right, so I haven't saved those settings. I'm gonna take a picture and then save in. Oh, that's really pretty. Right, so that's now saved. You'll see that the sun has gone in and out, but I actually like that a little bit darker. I love the fact that this is feeling like the Mother Mary, but with bullets on it. My sixth sense of humor. That's it. I'm gonna pull a bit of vibrance out of it. See, it makes it slightly sick. To finish this off, I'm definitely going to do a quick little retouch for you at the end. I'm liking that even better, so let's nail it in. That's really pretty. That's really pretty. Cool. That halo is actually really, I'm going to push that halo a touch harder. That's just going to start clipping, even though that clipping area is still lots of safety. I'm 244 as the highest. I've got so used to being safe working with clients. Because the client will only ever pick the picture you can't use. So I get so used to being a touch under rather than a touch over. Cool. And that'll allow for sun movement. That should, yeah, cool. Yeah, it's beautiful. See, why would you want to sharpen a picture? That's with my sharpening. Hopefully my sharpening should be turned off. Yeah, not even turned on. And even if it was, it's at 0. Yeah, I don't understand this over sharpening of pictures that people do. All right, let's nail this, okay? Okay? Cool. This camera is slower to shoot, so cool. I'm just going on to manual focus. I'll just double check. I'm just a bit soft, but I think I haven't set my diopter properly here. Cool, I like that a lot. That's really pretty. Cool. That's really pretty. Yeah, cool. With manual focusing, that's fine. And again, the lights just come up a fraction more. Cool. Cool. The reason I'm checking a lot is because this is a new old camera. So one of my backs died in Europe, and I've got a back that's just starting to die. Now I'm back, and I had the opportunity of picking this up at a really good price. So this is a 100 megapixel one, so it is slower, but I do, cool, I really like that. I really like that. That straight on is perfect. Cool. Yeah, when I've got confidence, I'm fine. So that's razor sharp in on the eyes, all that detail in there. The 100 megapixels, I don't need the megapixels, it's because the actual sensor physically is bigger, so I get more real medium format fallout out. Cool. That's a problem with a lot of the cameras that say medium format. The sensors are actually nearly half the size of true medium format, some of them. This is getting me more of that, especially if I go a shallower depth of field, it's giving me more of that look. Fraction soft, but I don't care. I actually like that better. Cool, I really like that. Cool, I really like that. Awesome, awesome. Nice, nice, nice. That's really pretty. That's beautiful, Anna. I did like that look to the heavens. Cool. That's so pretty. Yeah, that look down was quite nice too. I normally don't do the look away type shots, but I'm seeing this as more like a piece of art rather than me getting exact emotion off Anna, as that look away is just giving it a really good feel. So does the look down. Makes it more sadder, where that's telling me to go F off. But I still really like that too. I reckon we got it. So I'll just quickly do a run through of my retouch. Okay, so I'm now back in my office. I've just exported this out 16-bit TIFF in Adobe RGB, open up in Photoshop. There's the fully finished image. There's what came into Photoshop. So I'm just going to run through each of these layers step by step. But if you want to know more stuff, this is where we go into a lot more detail about how, where, when, the retouching of this. Running through all these layers, if I just jump up 2 layers, I have a layer called Solar Curve. If I show it what it looks like, it's a zigzag curve. And what that does, it shows dust spots. So you'll see my dust spots have shown up. And yeah, my sensor was pretty clean. I think I had 3 or 4. Then I can come in and just heal of those out on the healing layer. You'll see the dust spots just disappear. But I did some other stuff as well. So if I take that off, so we're not looking at dust spots, I didn't like the little bit of jeans there, so I just healed that off. And it was just a few little dots around. Anna does have a couple of invisible tattoos. And what I mean by that, you'll see them up around here, that area there. She also has one here, and it just looks sort of messy and blotchy. So there's a few things like that, that little line, in just the odd little lines in that annoy me. That's what I heal out. A lot of the stuff where I was healing weren't super sharp areas, so I'm not going to cause problems with the healing brush. That's after my heal layer is finished. So you didn't see a great deal except for me removing that little tattoo. So if I come up to the next 2 layers, that's my dodge and burn. Now my dodge and burn, I have 2 types of dodge and burn. This is just for cleaning up skin. So if I click on here, you'll see I have a very small up curve. So that's my dodge, and my burn has a very small down curve, and I have a black layer, and I use a brush tool, and my settings on the brush tool are 100% opacity, 1% flow. And that's the trick, having a very, very small flow. So now if I show, this is now my dodge, you'll see it just cleans up all those little imperfections. But if I zoom in into here and then turn my dodge tool on and off, see how it hasn't affected any hair, anything on the skin. So this is how I can clean up and blow my pictures up really big, and you don't see any signs of my retouching. So there's my burn. And again, you cannot see any signs of retouching. And this is why I like this non-destructive way of retouching. I learned this like 15 years ago. And this is how the high-end retouchers retouch. They don't use frequency separation and all that crap. They just go in and carefully dodge and burn. You'll see the difference that has made on this picture, but you cannot see the retouch, and that's the joy of it. My next dodging and burning, but I call it cutting because I use it more to shape. These are used to clean up. This is used to shape. So you'll see that I just shape the face slightly, I shape the arms slightly, I shape the body slightly. So it's just a gray layer, and there's my shaping. So I'm painting white and black brushes on a gray layer set to soft light. And by me doing that then you'll see just changes where I wanted the toning of this picture to go. So it's more like a full dodge and burn. This color fill layer is just a perfect black and white layer. I don't think, oh yeah, I use 5% of it. See how it just slightly desaturated? That's all I wanted to do. And the reason I wanted to do that, because the gradient map up here, and you get that through this area, it's down the bottom, gradient map layer. And what it does, if I come to gradient map here, see it goes from black to white. So it drags the picture out, and that can give me a linear contrast. See that linear contrast? But the problem is if I turn off my color fill layer, so in here, it's just a black layer. So it's just a solid fill layer set to black. And then I've changed the blending mode to color, which means it gives me a perfect desaturation layer, and I'm only using it 5%. If I brought it right through, you'll see it takes it to black and white. But I just ran this just at 5%. I'll find it in a minute. There we go. To make up for the extra color that was put in. So if you look at that, then I click those two on, it just pulls off that little bit more saturation that the gradient map layer put on. Now I've jumped over this hue and sat layer. So if I jump in here, there's a hue and sat layer, and you'll see I just went into the red channels, and if I turn this off first, I was having a problem. See this sort of like purpley magenta-y tone in here? And this was just in the shot. So I wanted to pull this back out a bit. So I just used lasso tool. When I had the lasso tool selected, I clicked on to grab a hue and sat layer. Then all I did was move a selection of where I wanted to affect the colors and played around with the hue and sat just till I neutralized. See, that looks wrong, whereas that's fixed the problem. That's all I wanted to do was fix it a little bit. I wanted the blotchy skin, so I didn't fix the fingers because I did want to make this feel real. This was never meant to feel perfect. If I keep coming up, the next layer here is a trick I use a fair bit. So what it is a lot of people use mist filters and things like that. Basically, a lot of those, and making it so your blacks aren't black. Well, a trick to it, just grab your levels and you'll see how that misted out the blacks. And all I've done is, you see this slider here, I've pulled my black output to 17. And then I've moved my mids, and that's to darken off. So the mids would normally be at 100, but I brought it up to, I think it was 87, which then puts that contrast back in, but milks out the blacks. It's more like this sort of filmy look. I just want to undo, it was 85. So that's pretty much, so if I turn that on and off, you'll see how that just milked out. It's pulled off some contrast, but I'm going to fix that later on because I just wanted to milk it out a bit. Now up here, it looks like a mess, but all of these layers here is to fix what I did here. I've dragged in one of my film grain layers. So if I just bring in my film grain layer and I turn off that and I zoom in, so this is just a Delta 100 film grain layer, you'll see I've still got dust and marks on it. If I zoom in on this, look how sharp that layer is. I was too sharp in my scanning of this layer. So a trick is, because this is a smart object, I could just come into Gaussian blur with a smart filter, and now if I bring in, you'll see that, see how that's really, really soft now. So if I turn on and off that, you'll see I just softened off that layer beautifully, but now I've given it this really, really nice filmic look. It has changed the color of the picture a little bit. So if I just turn that on and off, you'll see my colors changed. Now I've also, right, that layer there's an oopsie. I don't know why that's sitting in there, layer 2. I think I can just delete that. Let's see what happens if I delete that. Yeah, I don't know what that layer was. So there is adding some grain, but you can see it's really changed the color. It's also softened the picture off more. So what I've done, I've got a color fill layer. So the same layer down here, which is just a black layer set to blending mode as color fill. You'll see now I bring this in, I can see how it just subtly pulled off that toning. And I'm only running it at an opacity of 98%. So it's just pulling off a lot of that color that I've left in this. Now I could have converted this to a black and white, but I prefer to do it this way. The layer above is a healing layer that I decided some of these pops and scratches annoyed me a bit, especially the one there and that little circle there, the line through a wrist. I could have gone back and edited my grain and saved it, but I just decided I'll drop that healing tool layer, which if I show you it, it's just healing of all the spots that I didn't like on this smart object. I could have made this not a smart object and just heal directly on this, but this is just how I did it. The very final thing is if I turn this on and off now, this is a look, but it's a little bit different to what I was shooting. And this was nearly about what I was going to use, but then I decided to put a curve in here. And by putting it down curve like that, now when I turn, you'll see I've still kept the essence of what I was shooting in the studio, but now I have now polished this picture to be printed, and it can be printed large. This could be easily printed at 2 meters high. I'd be happy to print this with the retouching I've done here, 2 meters big. And this is the thing with Photoshop, is not to use Photoshop to make your picture. It's just use the Photoshop to clean up and improve your picture. See, I have kept the essence of the picture, but I've just popped it more to my taste.
So we hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget, we have a heap of other photography tutorials over on Inspire. There will be a link down below, but I will also throw some of our other videos up on the screen now.